They were fathers. They were sons. They were friends. Ordinary men who shared one passion, sabong. But one by one, they vanished. No goodbyes, no explanations, just silence. What began as a weekend of cockfighting derbies soon turned into one of the most chilling mysteries in recent Philippine history. A case that exposed the dark world of E-Sabong, shook the nation, and left families searching for answers that never seemed to come. This is Pinoy True Crime Story. It began like any ordinary day for men whose lives revolved around the centuries-old tradition of sabong. In the Philippines, cockfighting wasn't just a game. It was culture, livelihood, and identity. For some, it paid the bills. For others, it was a way to bond with friends, an escape from daily struggles, or even a family legacy passed down through generations. But between late 2021 and early 2022, this proud and noisy tradition, filled with the sound of roosters crowing, the clash of spurs, and the roar of betters, would become the setting for one of the most chilling mysteries in Philippine history. More than 30 men, known as Sabungeros, would vanish without a trace. They were fathers, husbands, sons, and friends. Men who left home carrying little more than their roosters, their cash, and the hope of winning. None of them knew it would be their last time stepping out their doors. It started quietly. A few men from Laguna failed to return home after attending a derby. Then it happened again in Manila. Then in Bulacan, Batangas, Pampanga. At first, their families thought little of it. Perhaps they stayed overnight. Perhaps they got too drunk to go home. Maybe their phones had died. But as the hours stretched into days, dread began to creep in. These men weren't coming home. CCTV footage captured the last haunting glimpses of some of them. In one arena, a group of Sabungeros was seen entering, smiling, alive, carrying their roosters proudly. Hours later, the same cameras showed them being escorted out, but this time with their hands tied, forced into waiting vans. After that, nothing. The trail ended. Inside their homes, silence weighed heavy. Wives kept trying to call their husbands' phones. Sometimes the call would ring once, then cut off into silence. Mothers cooked meals that no one came home to eat. Children, too young to understand, would ask, "Mom, when will Dad come home?" before crying themselves to sleep. The disappearances weren't random. They followed a chilling pattern, always linked to derbies, always connected to high-stakes bets, or the booming industry of online E-Sabong. Some of the missing were veteran handlers, experts who knew the game better than anyone. Others were financiers, backing roosters worth hundreds of thousands. A few were simple players, everyday men hoping for a lucky break. Different roles, different lives, yet the same fate: silence, disappearance, and despair left behind. Rumors began to swirl like wildfire. Some said the men owed debts to powerful financiers. Others whispered about syndicates fixing games, silencing anyone who dared expose them. E-Sabong had exploded into a billion-peso industry, operating day and night, with bets placed across the country and abroad. And where there was that much money, there was greed, power, and danger. Witnesses surfaced with chilling testimonies. One claimed to have seen a group of men, blindfolded and handcuffed, being shoved into vans outside the Manila arena. Another recalled hearing muffled screams echoing from the basement of an arena after a derby. Whether fact or rumor, each story painted the same terrifying picture. These disappearances were not accidents. They were organized, deliberate, and carried out by people with influence. Families began to gather, their grief transforming into desperate determination. They carried framed photos of their missing loved ones. They held press conferences, faced cameras with trembling hands, and begged for help. One mother said through tears, "If they are already dead, then at least return their bodies to us. It's so painful not knowing, not having a body to bury, not even a grave we can visit." The nation began to take notice. Newspapers ran headlines. Senators called for hearings. Even the president stepped in. By May 2022, President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the suspension of E-Sabong, admitting that the disappearances were among the social costs of the billion-peso industry. But for the families, the suspension meant nothing. Their loved ones were still missing. Weeks turned into months. By then, the number of missing Sabungeros had risen to 31. 31 men gone without a trace. No ransom calls, no bodies, no suspects brought to justice. It was as though the earth itself had swallowed them. Behind closed doors, investigators pieced together fragments of evidence. Was this about debts left unpaid? Was it about men who won too much and angered the wrong people? Or was it part of a larger turf war between rival operators in the deadly E-Sabong business? No matter the theory, the result was the same: silence. As time dragged on, hope began to fade. Some families refused to give up, clinging to the belief that their loved ones were alive, hidden somewhere, waiting to be rescued. Others, weary and broken, accepted the worst, but still begged for closure, for even the dignity of a grave. One wife recalled her last conversation with her husband. He had kissed her forehead before leaving for the derby and promised, "I'll just be quick. I'll be home soon." That was the last time she saw him. She now keeps his rooster's cage empty, dust collecting on it, as a silent reminder of the life that was stolen from them. This case is not just about missing Sabungeros. It is about the cracks in society, where money and power can snuff out ordinary lives without consequence. These men were not politicians or celebrities. They were ordinary Filipinos. Yet, they were erased, as if their lives did not matter. Their families still wait. 31 families, 31 unanswered prayers, and a nation left to wonder. How could this happen? Who has the power to make 31 men disappear? And why, even now, has no one been punished? To this day, the truth remains buried. The missing Sabungeros have become a haunting reminder that when billions are at stake, human lives can vanish into silence, and justice can remain just out of reach. You've just listened to another haunting case from Pinoy True Crime Story, where we uncover the Philippines' most chilling and unforgettable true crime stories. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pinoy True Crime Story for more real cases that deserve to be told.